Good morning. It rained last night and it is just beautiful out here. I'm sitting in my garden. I don't usually sit in my garden because I have a slight phobia of bugs, but I'm doing this for you guys. So it is beautiful and the birds are flying all around and the bees are in the blueberry bushes and on the apple tree, and there's people walking by and it's just lovely. And I have made my own little Eden here. I worked really hard to get the soil prepared and planted the plants just exactly where I wanted them. And now they are going to just grow and it's going to be perfect. And there's going to be nothing that happened because I've thought through every possible thing except for we live here on earth and there is sin. And when Adam listened to his wife and ate of the tree that was forbidden in Eden, God cursed the ground because of him. It says in Genesis 3:17 through 19, "Cursed is the ground because of you. In pain you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for you. And I will add weeds and slugs and squash bugs and hornworms and mildew and blossom and rot and all of those things that come and affect your garden." If this is your first time gardening and that is the first time that you are hearing that you're going to be battling the elements, I'm sorry, but that is the truth. If you're an experienced gardener, you're going to know that it comes really fast and you're going to just nod your head and strap on your armor and get out there and go do it. So I hope that I don't discourage you too much by all of this, but I do want to give you guys a heads up on what you're gonna be encountering and how you can help. One thing you could use if you have a fenced yard and you don't have any deer coming through, but maybe perhaps some rabbits or something, you can use this metal netting. It's not very tall, maybe 3 inches tall, and you could just put it in front of your crops and it would prevent rabbits coming in. But of course, if you have deer, they're going to just step over it. If you have birds and you have a crop that they're going to want to eat, they can just fly in. So this is not overly effective. I have put it over top like that before and it shields it, but again, if you have rabbits or something, they can come in this way. So this is good, maybe if you have a small dog or kids or something that you can use to protect your crops a little bit, but this is not going to be overly effective. If your problem is deer, you can put out shiny things or noisemakers. Some people put CDs or aluminum pans, and the idea is that the sun will catch it and reflect. The noise will scare them off because deer are skittish. The thing is though, the deer will get used to them and they will just kind of ignore them after a while. So you have to move them around periodically. The other thing is if you live in a subdivision and your crop that you're wanting to protect is kind of visible, your neighbors aren't going to appreciate you having junk hanging from the trees and noisemakers going off to deter the deer. So you want to keep good neighbors, and so that would be probably not my best bet. The next thing that some people try are smell deterrents because deer and other animals don't like the strong smells. The first one is soap. They just cut them up and they lay them around your garden. You could do human hair, bobcat urine, human urine, garlic spray, or some of the other really strong smells that people have tried to scare off the deer. The cons of this is that smell deterrents, if you're going to buy them in the store, they can get really expensive. If you are not going to, and you are going to get them from your house, human hair, you would need a lot of that, and so people are going to be cutting a lot of their hair. Right now we are in the middle of COVID-19, and so we cannot go to hairdressers and get hair from them, although after this that would be a good option. Soap and garlic, frankly I want that if I bought it, I want it for my house, and I'm not gonna go get it just to scare off some deer. But that it is an option. Human urine, I'm not gonna come out and pee in my yard. I'm sure the boys could come out and bond over that while peeing all over the yard. I don't know if my neighbors would appreciate that. We could do chamber pots and go back to those days and bring them out. But you know, I'm just really not willing to do that. I'm not committed to that. So those things are not going to be what I'm going to suggest. Although, if you want to do it, I'm sure that there are some different things that you can try, and maybe you can text me and let me know how they work. The other thing though with smell deterrents is that the deer get used to them, and you're going to have to keep switching it up. And if you're buying things from the store to spray out in your yard, that's going to get expensive. And if you are going to use things from your house, you might get a little discouraged that that you're going to have to keep trying new things. The other thing is you're going to have to just try it and then go out into your yard to see if it's working. And the way that you're going to tell if it's working or not is if you're going to see damage from your from the deer. They're going to eat your crops. If you go out there and they've eaten your tomatoes, then you know it didn't work. But frankly, I am not willing to wait until that time to see if it works or not. So again, this is something some people do. They have luck with it, but that's not my recommendation. So what is my recommendation? My recommendation is this bird netting. I've used it around my garden for several years. It was an expense at the beginning, but I've been able to use it, I think maybe 4 years now, and it's done really well. It covers the blueberries so that the birds don't get them. It has covered my peach trees so that the squirrels don't get them. And then I've gone all the way around my garden so that none of the animals can get in. At the top, it just comes together, and I link it together with some twist ties. On the edges, I use bamboo. They're free. I got a lady on my Nextdoor app, and she said that I can come over and get some bamboo. So it is free to go around. And then at the bottom, I just put rocks, or you can put little stakes in there, and that's so that the birds and the squirrels and raccoon don't slip underneath. But I've had this, like I said, on there for about 4 years, and I've never had any problem with animals getting in. The only thing that is a con, which makes me sad, is that sometimes birds fly into it because they don't see it, and then if I don't come out here every day to inspect it, sometimes they get caught in there, and that's sad. I don't know why also dragonflies come in here a lot, and so I have to cut a little hole in it and to get the dragonflies out. I don't know why dragonflies come in, because they don't really eat my plants. So I don't know, dragonflies, stop doing that. Anyway, but this is my recommendation for big pests.